The point that I've been making in this very long segment tonight is the reason that the Democrats lost the 2024 presidential election isn't because the Americans went nuts and decided to vote for Hitler 2.0 or a fascist dictator who they don't want to be, have their rights ripped away. That's what they voted for. The guy who's a sexual predator and he's a criminal and he's a felon and he's all these things. That's not what Americans were voting for whatsoever. That's what the Democrats made the campaign about, but the Americans didn't care. It's very, very simple. Here's what happened. Americans looked at the years of 2016 to 2020 when Donald Trump was president. And they looked at their own life situations and they said, during this time period, how was my life? Did I have money? Did I have a job? How were my kids? How was my health? What was going on in the country? And how did it all go? And they probably thought back to a time when things were not perfect, but they were better than they are now. But they remembered that constantly all they ever heard on TV was how the president was sending another unhinged tweet at someone. And all the media would do is talk about how our president's unhinged and he's the end of everything and blah, 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 blah. And then he got voted out in 2020, right? And then we had Biden and Harris for 4 years. And then they probably looked at their life situations during those 4 years. And they said, okay, so in the last 4 years, we had a president who didn't send mean tweets. He was not unhinged and saying stupid shit constantly. Okay? I mean, he could barely walk. He was probably pooping himself half the time and barely conscious. But, that's what happens when you get that old. But at least he wasn't causing big situations of drama constantly, right? He had himself under control. Well, how was my life in those 4 years? Well, let's see. I had less money, or what I really should say, not that you had less money, your money's worth less, right? You're making the same amount of money, but now what you used to be able to get with that money has been reduced dramatically for some bizarre reason that the Democrats don't want to talk about, right? They don't want to admit that prices are sky high, that inflation is super high, and interest rates have skyrocketed under the last 4 years that they've been in control of the government. They want to say, oh, well, it's Trump this and Trump that and Roe v. Wade. Great. How did that affect the line level shit that I saw every day around me? For some people, the abortion thing is a huge deal. I absolutely sympathize with the two women whose stories we just experienced tonight on this stream. No one should have to be, go through that kind of abuse that girl did when she was 12. And, she got an abortion because, she was raped and, geez, awful situation. The woman who had the kid and, then all of a sudden in the middle of the pregnancy, there's the infection. She can't get the abortion. So now she has to get this crazy, operation later and it destroys her body. And now she might not have a kid. I feel horrible for them, but they're exceptions to the rule. When you're becoming a public servant, you have to find what the common threads are that people are interested in the most to commonly serve the most people at once. Okay. Yes, you can also handle the outliers. You can do that. But you must handle the common things first. And the Democrats seem to stay away from the common threads of what people wanted in America more than anything else. There was no open discussions on how to fix this shit. Only, re-elect us and we'll make things better. But you're already in power, right? In any election cycle, it's easier to be the incoming party that takes over from a party that is messed up than to get reelected. Because to get reelected, you had to have 4 good years. And the Democrats did not. Biden and Harris did not. And all the other Democrats that were in charge, at this time, were not doing a good job for the common American person, period. Or else they wouldn't have lost the common vote. Maybe they would have still lost the electoral college vote. But absolutely, they wouldn't have lost the common vote. They lost everyone's common vote. And it's their own fault because they have Will Ferrell and Beyonce and Oprah dancing around like puppets, getting paid giant sums of money to do so, by the way. And no one gives a shit about them anymore. No one. Oh, wait, you're telling me that the Swifties couldn't win the election? Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? I have a big news flash for you. Swifties don't fucking vote. They sit there brainwashed listening to Taylor Swift all day. They probably don't even know how to vote. All right? It didn't affect anything that Taylor Swift said to vote for Kamala Harris. All those cat women sitting around their homes with 14, 15 cats, guess what? Their cats can't vote. So it didn't matter that they were behind Harris because there were only one vote. The common fucking person voted and won this election.